Watch, एक second. Sanjay उवाच एवमुक्त्वा ऋषिकेशं गुडाकेश परन्तप न योत्स इति गोविन्दम् उक्त्वा तूष्णीं बभूव. Sanjaya said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. Arjuna is addressed as Gudakesha. Gudakesha means who has conquered ignorance, because who is the conqueror of sleep. So Arjuna used to fight in the night also, because he was very determined to learn archery. So one who has conquered sleep, he is called Gudakesha. Purport given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Dhritarashtra must have been very glad to understand that Arjuna was not going to fight and was instead leaving the battlefield for the begging profession. But Sanjaya disappointed him again in relating that Arjuna was competent to kill his enemies. Parantapa. Parantapa means chastiser of enemies. Although Arjuna was for the time being overwhelmed with false grief due to family affection, he surrendered unto Krishna, the supreme spiritual master, as a disciple. This indicated that he would soon be free from the false lamentation resulting from family affection and would be enlightened with perfect knowledge of self realization or Krishna consciousness and would then surely fight. Thus, Dhritarashtra's joy would be frustrated since Arjuna would be enlightened by Krishna and would fight to the end. So, there might be some temporary miseries, some temporary attachment, but if we have surrendered to the authorities, eventually we will become Krishna conscious. So that's what Prabhupada is writing here. Although Arjuna might have overcome by the attachments of family affection, but since he has surrendered to Krishna, he will become Krishna conscious. And this Dhritarashtra's joy will be frustrated. Nimittani vipritani. So Dhritarashtra has this expectation that Arjuna will not fight because of his attachment, but his expectation will be frustrated. So we'll read one more verse. तमुवाच ऋषिकेशः प्रहसन्निव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तम् इदं वचः. Hare Krishna. O descendant of Bharata, at that time Krishna, smiling in the midst of both the armies, spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjuna. So now Krishna is smiling. Does anybody know why Krishna is smiling? Now Krishna will reply. Yes. Yeah. So that's why, because thank you, Prabhu Himanshu. So the relationship has been transformed from friendly relationship to Guru Shishya relationship, and now Krishna will become more serious. Previously, Krishna used to put his hands on the shoulder of Arjuna, or Arjuna used to put his hand on the shoulder of Krishna, and they used to address themselves very jokingly. But now, since Arjuna has surrendered, so the relationship is very serious, where Guru will speak about Krishna and transcendental knowledge, and the disciple will receive the Krishna consciousness. So the relationship has become serious, and real progress in Krishna consciousness will happen for Arjuna because of this surrender. So that's why Krishna is smiling, because he is happy that Arjuna has surrendered for his own advancement. Purport. The talk was going on between intimate friends, namely the Rishikesh and the Gudakesh. As friends, both of them were on the same level, but one of them voluntarily became a student of the other. Krishna was smiling because a friend had chosen to become a disciple. As Lord of all, he is always in the superior position as the master of everyone, and yet the Lord agrees to be a friend, a son, or a lover for a devotee who wants him in such a role. But when he was accepted as a master, he at once assumed the role and talked with the disciple like the master, with gravity as it is required. It appears that the talk between the master and the disciple was openly exchanged in the presence of both armies so that all were benefited. So the talks of Bhagavad Gita are not for any particular person, society, or community, but they are for all, and friends or enemies are equally entitled to hear. So Krishna accepts everybody, you know, whether he be a servant, whether he be a king, or he be a queen, or so ye yatha mam prapadante tam stathe vajamyam mam vartman anuvartante manusya partha sarvash. So according to a person's surrender, Krishna accepts. So if you see Krishna as a friend, then Krishna will accept you as a friend.
Yes.
But there is a hierarchy of surrender. So for example, the Shant Rasa, Dasya Rasa, they are considered lower rasas, and then there is Vatsalya Rasa, Sakya Rasa, and finally Madhur Rasa. So basically, friendly, considering a spiritual master as a friend is not so high, but it is the starting point, because initially when we start practicing, we need friends, right? We need prasadam, we need friends with whom we can share our heart, but that is lower. Like finally, actually, we have to surrender, and we have to receive the sound vibration from the spiritual master and follow his instructions. That is the highest. Sarva dharman pariteja mam ekam sharanam raja. So sharanam means taking shelter of the spiritual master and willing to give up our own misconceptions and adopt his conceptions. So that is the following of instructions, and that is the real 100% surrender. Okay, any questions?